Hello everyone, this is Ahmed Dan. Today I'm going to be doing a stabilization test of Google Pixel 8 Pro video, and it's a cloudy day and I think that gives a good chance to do a good stabilization test because of the lighting condition. So we'll go outside and then we'll do a stabilization test of Google Pixel 8 Pro. Hi guys, so Pixel 8 Pro has two different types of stabilization, standard and active. But the thing is, the active one is not available in 4K, so I'm doing 1080p and 4K both, and right now I'm doing 1080 no HDR with standard stabilization. So I'll just walk 1 or 2 minutes and then we'll take a look. So this is the CN Tower, and the stabilization right now is 1080 30 frames per second, no HDR and standard. So later on I'm going to switch to no HDR active just after another half minute. So we are just still waiting to cross the stop sign, and you can see you have the CN Tower there, and this is in downtown Toronto. I think we can walk now. Yeah. Okay, so this is no HDR standard stabilization, 1080 30 frames per second, and let's just walk another 20 seconds. And I'm just panning a little bit here and there just to give you an idea how much shake it can take. Okay, so I'll just stop 1080 30 frames per second, no HDR standard. So this is the 1080 30 frames per second, no HDR and active stabilization. So most likely there's going to be a better stabilization, and we'll just move the camera and we'll just show here and there, and cannot see the CN Tower anymore. So we are walking in downtown Toronto at Harbourfront. And here's the marina. And let's try to move the camera a little bit here and there. Let's see how it can handle it. So again, this is 1080 30 frames per second, no HDR and active stabilization, and we got a CN Tower view which is right here. And so what I'm going to do, I'll just walk a little bit more and then we'll stop it and we will change it to HDR. People are walking their dogs, and this place is a very tourist favorite, but it's beginning of winter, so it's not many people at this point, but later on it's going to get crowded. So let's stop this now and we'll switch to HDR standard stabilization. So this is 1080 30 frames per second. We have HDR, and then stabilization is standard, and let's see how it can handle. So this is the stabilization test of Pixel 8 Pro, which is famous for its camera. The camera has been upgraded and they upgraded lots of things, so hopefully the stabilization is much better than the older versions. But even I noticed that Pixel 6 Pro had very good stabilizations, so hopefully this one have slightly better. And we got a streetcar, and then HDR mode should make the streetcar look better than regular no HDR mode, but we'll see it later on when I'm able to see the clips. And here we have some flowers. This is the Shoeless Joe's restaurant, but no one is here yet. This is still too early for people to come and hang out. And I'm moving the camera here and there, and I'm just doing normal walking, the way you're going to walk when you're vlogging or just doing regular travel video. So again, this is 1080 30 frames per second. HDR mode is on with standard stabilization, and after crossing the light we are going to stop and switch it to active stabilization. So you got CN Tower here. So there's a streetcar coming. I'll just wait to get the streetcar, and then we'll switch it to the next mode. So this is the HDR with active stabilization, and CN Tower. We are in downtown Toronto, and right in front, up ahead, is the HTO Park Beach, which you are looking at. So this is 1080 30 frames per second with HDR on, and active stabilization is on, and let's see how it can handle it. And we are looking at the HTO Park Beach. You can see those beach umbrella, but this is winter, so no one is going to be at the beach unless some people are walking. So the active stabilization mode, HDR 1080 30 frames per second. And this is a cloudy day, there is no sun, I think, which is good for a stabilization test, because you get to see how it can handle slight low light. And I'm kind of panning my camera here and there and moving the camera. So one thing I can see that they brighten the screen of Pixel 8 Pro. It's very bright when it's in the daylight or outside, but if you compare it to the older version, it's a much low light. But here you have no problem seeing anything. It's much brighter. I think it's 2000 or 2400 nit. I forgot the exact amount, which is much higher than the older version for the camera, for the screen brightness. So we are still walking, 1080p 30 frames per second, HDR with active stabilization. And this is going to be the last from 1080p. We're going to have to switch to 4K within a minute or so. However, the 4K doesn't have active stabilization. It has only standard. So we'll see how the standard holds up. And we are in downtown Toronto. So this should be good enough for 1080p 30 frames per second HDR with active stabilization. So I'm going to turn it on and we'll switch to 4K. Hi guys, so this is 4K standard stabilization, no HDR, and we're going to walk a few minutes and see how it's holding up. So most likely Most of you are going to be using this mode, which is 4K with standard stabilization, no HDR. HDR makes everything, it's like kind of color graded, so many of you may not like to use HDR all the time. So this is again 4K 30 frames per second standard stabilization, no HDR. So I spotted a cute dog there. He's walking with the owners. So Pixel 8 Pro video stabilization test, 4K standard stabilization, no HDR, and we are going to walk a little bit more and then move to the next mode, which is going to be actually our last mode in this video stabilization testing. And I'm just moving the camera here and there. So there's a streetcar coming, so we'll just wait a little bit to show you guys the streetcar, how it looks without the HDR in 4K. Okay, somehow looks like the streetcar stopped there, so we'll just wait a little bit. So switch to the next mode. Hi guys, this is the next mode. So this is 4K HDR with the standard stabilization. Let's wait for the streetcar. Do you see any color difference in HDR mode? So the color should be vibrant and better color in HDR, but I cannot tell by looking on the screen, so I'll know once I do the editing. But you can see how it looks. So we're just going to walk more, a little bit more, and this is 4K standard stabilization with HDR on, 30 frames per second, and let's see how it holds up. Let me just move or pan the camera a little bit here and there and see how it holds up. And I'm just doing normal movement, just like the way when you're doing travel video or vlogging. There's no running or sudden movement, so we're just testing how it holds up. And then we have some ships or boats here. This is the waterfront area in downtown Toronto, and HDR mode is on. And this is active stabilization, sorry, standard stabilization, because 4K doesn't offer active stabilization, but standard should be good enough for travel video or vlogging video. So we'll just walk another 20-30 seconds and then we'll stop. So you have a cute dog here. Okay, so that was the last segment, which was 4K 30 frames per second, HDR mode on with the standard stabilization, and this is Google Pixel 8 Pro, and that was the stabilization test. Let me know in the comments how you like, if you can see any significant difference between any of these modes, and I'll do more Pixel 8 Pro video tips and tricks or samples, examples, test later on. I'll see you shortly. Thank you for watching.